you know why you clicked on this video, so let's get into it. I'm just going to do a very basic example with a base body. And we'll be making very simple, just sleeves. So I'll show you some things with making sleeves. You can skip forwards to the time in the corner there if you don't want to know how to make sleeves, basically. Okay. So I just extended, delete face for when I want to make it more shaped, I suppose. Oopsies. One. We move it over. One thing that's fairly easy to do with making any sort of clothes like tight fit or even just loosely fit, but you know, get the silhouette of the character in there or of the model in there, is to use a modifier. Sorry, I was just doing the subdivision for the arms to fit a little bit better. We want to go to deform, and everything's laid out differently. So deform and then shrink wrap. And with skin wrap, we want to go to target, body, or whatever your mesh is called that you want it to conform to. And then we can do an offset. I do like to do an offset of 1 just to make sure that everything is not too close. So I'll demonstrate when it's too close and what it does. It doesn't quite fit over and it has this weird spot, so then we have to move the object out until it fits. And we can do this, and as you can see, again, the object here is not quite right. So we move that out a bit. Check all over to make sure there's no more of that going on. Oh, there's another one. We want to grab this and move it up a bit. And then it's fixed. And there we go. There's the arm. Maybe not too much like that. So we got the arm. We want to do 005. So it gives it a little bit of space, but also is pretty conformed to the shape. And then Control A to apply. Make sure your mouse is over here to Control A, because otherwise you will be getting this menu up, which is not what you want. And I will be demonstrating 2 different ways of doing weight paint. So we will first show separate. We select the mesh and then we shift select the bones, right click, parent, and depending if you want to start from scratch, you'll do empty groups, but if you want to start with a base and just edit it, I would suggest doing the automatic weights. And once you have that, you hold shift again, go to the base body, then come up here to the mode and go down to weight paint. And that way, when we press gradient, we can click the bones and we can see their weights. And sometimes when the weights aren't quite right, we get this sort of thing going on. Now there's 2 ways you can deal with this, which is by hand, making sure that, you know, the bones underneath have adequate amount of weight to the object, which for me, that's just too hard sometimes. You don't know if you need more, you don't know if you need less. You can just play around with it until you get it right. Obviously I just did it, so it's not that hard to do. Like that. Because I'm out here complaining about this stuff. It's not difficult, it's just I'd rather not. And we want to put a hard line on the inside of the elbow when we do elbows, because otherwise the material will not pinch the way it needs to pinch. And again, we can check this one to make sure it's not overstepping, which it is. Just delete it a little bit. Whoopsies. Go back to this. And we see we have no leakage. And it's pretty nice, and it's already just made the way that it is. Or we can do method number 2. Again, my methods are very similar. It's having a weight and then messing with the weight. So bones, shift select object, weight. I like the gradient. It's really cool to me. Oh, I didn't do the thing, did I? Whoopsies, my bad. So object, shift select, bones, parent, empty groups, shift select, object, go back into weight paint mode. Then we select the arm, and then I just paint along how I want it to sit, which is the back needs more, the front needs less, and then the opposite for the other arm. The front needs to go over a little bit, the back needs a little less. And then if we need some cleanup, which I'm sure we will, yep, we do some cleanup. Yeah, it looks about right up down there. Maybe it's too much up here. Yeah. But again, if we don't want it to bend the way that it's bending, because sometimes it can seem a little odd, there's a thing that I've seen VRChat model makers do quite a lot, which they go to the extreme, but you can also incorporate it very mildly if you're not wanting that like drastic noodle arms. So you can go into the shape key maker down in the menus here, so it's just a little triangle with circles. Add your key, call it something like sleeves on, and you want to put it to 100% or 1, because if you don't have it, you won't be able to see it changing. So when I show you this, you see that it changes there, but if we didn't have it at 1, we wouldn't be able to see that change. So we keep it to 1, and we blend it in, so we don't have any overhanging, overlapping, or any bleeding happening. And again, this works for when you want to bend the arm backwards, because if you bend the arm backwards from the weights, you can still find some issues sometimes, unless you did it really well, which I'm surprised I did there. But again, yeah, it's all dependent on how you want your model to look and feel. And I think it's a very simple, very nice way of blending in your sleeves into your arms. Again, arms aren't going to bend back like this, so like you can be a little bit lax with it, but just in case they do, because you know, VRChat models and what they do, always keep that in mind. So that's that. Another thing I like doing when it comes to like weight painting this sort of area, say that this is connected to other clothes here and we want it to react with the arm here, the thing I like to do is go into the shoulder and add some weights from the shoulder, so it has that interactive feeling to it. But you don't want to do it too much that when you lift your arms up that your arms drag down. So we want to go weight paint, we want to select that, we just want a little bit coming up like that, and so when this arm comes down or goes up, it bends along with it. And the cool thing is it keeps up the arm. It comes up here. You can still do that, and it still kind of has that pinch. So the shoulder is responsible for that little tiny pinch that the arms or the clothes get. So maybe if we did it a little bit like that, that has a better pinch. And so when the arms come down, they don't pinch in as too much. That's just a little thing I like to do with the arms. Make it seem more natural. Alright, that's the 2 ways that I know how to do weight painting. It's very simple, very fast, very easy to work around and work with. I hope this video has helped you. Thank you so much for being here, and if I've earned it, please leave a like so other people can find it. If there's a video you want me to make in the future, any tutorials, please leave a comment down below. And with that, happy creating!